Hello, everyone, and welcome on back to ILIAD Esports here in the FACEIT League, Season 5 Advanced Playoffs. It's all coming down to the best of the rest. Eliminate the wheat from the chaff, and we certainly have got some tall stocks rising above here today. ILIAD NYX step up against yummYMeal, but who will really be dining and who will be dashing out of this bracket quicker? That's the question we're all going to be answering here today as we look to see the competition before us. It's me, D'Lo. Hello. Nice to see you again. We have our friend, Head Rammer, our almighty eye in the sky, and Hippie, that man behind the curtain. Please thank our production as well. We've got you watching at home. Hopefully looking forward to the action that awaits us right about now. Now, taking a look at the landscape here, taking a look at the brackets and the matches to come as well. There's certainly a lot to be talking about here if you are an ILIAD esports fan. Of course, me being new here on the scene, it's really cool to acquaint myself with all the teams. You might have seen last week, or 2 weeks ago, I don't know. Feels so short, but so long at the same time. Artemis were able to take down their opponents and are now looking pretty solid as they continue to battle on. But now it's NYX going up against yummYMeal we saw prior. In fact, Artemis and Helios had a bit of a scrap with themselves, and Artemis were able to take that one up nice and clean. Hopefully, NYX can battle in the same right. It seems that the purple posse, maybe he's a bit better faded. So we'll have to find out quickly who's going to win the color war as we keep it on moving forward. But like I said, yummYMeal stepping up, and honestly, looking at the records here, they're going to be a tough opponent. We cannot slouch. That kitty cat might look all innocent, nomming out the turkey, but kitty's got claws. How do you think it got their fingers on that bird in the first place? Being in that 6th place position up against our friends Artemis, who I do believe are in 14th. So a bit of a slog get through. It's 8-8 in the regular season for our friends on NYX, and they're going to have to make sure they're punching above that performance to ensure they can come up with the upset here today. But having seen the tenacity of ILIAD Esports, knowing the family that they fight with, knowing the feet that they step forward with are always the strongest, always stalwart, always stoic. Hopefully, we can see them do just that. But ILIAD Artemis's lineup, of course, or sorry, rather, ILIAD NYX's lineup, of course, pass is getting to me, going to be shown here in just a moment as well. You can see the pedigree that we have here before you. Our friend Aniki, Drip Tire, Skycer, Rulupinus, and Cray. Definitely trying to get a bit insane on the battlefield here. On the other side, our friends on yummYMeal. We're going to be looking to try to contest the best of the rest. That's Invictus, our friend Foos, Melon, Wind, and Fire. Earth is simply missing. Unfortunately, they just didn't have all 3 members of the band. Do you remember the 5th night, rather, of July? Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. But nonetheless, hopefully it's a rhythm that you're looking to dance to. And ILIAD NYX trying to dance on the corpses of their opponents. Will that be the case, or will they be left in disgrace? We'll be finding that out shortly. Once again, 1st to 3 in terms of the maps, which always means that it's a bit of a marathon, but at the same time, not too far from a sprint. You don't have to slog through, all those potential maps, cycle through all the game modes. However, last time I was on the stream, I got to see it go all the way to 5, and that's where things really do start to become a battle of endurance, a battle of attrition. You have to make sure that you can pace yourselves, and keep that mental on lock. I always love to talk about the mental game, how it's going to be just as important. And I'm sure ILIAD NYX are maybe feeling a bit of nerves here. Now playoffs, stakes are a bit higher. You recognize really now what you're playing for. You look at the light at the end of the tunnel. You see, man, we could really make it. We could really face it. yummYMeal trying to take that all off the dinner table. We're finding out here quickly what the map is going to be to start things off. And always, when it comes to these 1st to 3s, pacemakers, pace setters, I always like to see people starting off with their strongest foot forward. If you know that you like hard control point, start off with that. There's no reason, in my opinion, to keep an ace up your sleeve, because you don't even know if you're going to see that in the deck otherwise if you decide to let it hang till the back. I say, ask the dealer to hit every single time. We're looking for that 21. We're looking for blackjack. We're looking to try to put yummYMeal down. But map 1, still just a test of time to see what it's going to end up being. Last time I was present here, we got to see some interesting picks when it comes to what our ILIAD folks on Artemis' side were capable of, but very stagnant was their composition. I'm wondering if ILIAD NYX are going to be more fluid. I always like to see teams that are willing to kind of bend, move, sway, instead of break. Move like water. Be like water. And try to make sure that you're able to adapt to situations that are present to you. sometimes that could be the big difference, especially in a game like Overwatch where counter picks, punch for counter blow, always can be so important. But hope y'all are doing well. Hope anyone who celebrated Independence Day enjoyed it. And now we try to see if ILIAD NYX can liberate themselves from the tyrannical heel of yummYMeal. We'll be finding out shortly. But last time, if I don't misremember, it was a hard point map to start things off, and I feel like that's oftentimes a good baseline for teams to start with. It's something that you feel very comfortable with. It's a game mode that's translated from all your time over in Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2. A lot of familiarity on all the maps. Everyone kind of knows all the nooks and crannies and niches, so there's really nothing lost. It's a very good pacemaker in terms of execution. You know exactly where you're going to be going, but it does seem like the map indeed has been decided. I believe it's going to be our friends on Oasis to kick things off. So, in that sense, hey, goes along with what I was saying. Just, watch out for the cars. Make sure that pedestrian life is staying nice and safe. Look both ways, left, right, and left again. You don't want to get left as some roadkill on the side of the curb. Once again, it's going to be ILIAD NYX, yummYMeal. Map 1 coming at you here. D-Lo, Headrammer, and Hippie here to bring you the action. And P's and B's are now the next question that comes to our lips. And here's where we get to see the fruits of our labor, or rather, the fruits of the homework you've been doing, how well you've been researching this. It's going to be a Tracer ban to start things off, coming from ILIAD NYX on Oasis, a map that definitely has some vertical ground, but not oftentimes easily accessible, so I'm not surprised to see a Tracer when there's so much open terrain for her to duck and weave between all those tunnels, all those archways. I don't want to deal with that. Get it out of here. Don't blame them whatsoever. It's a good pick. Rather, a good ban. yummYMeal on their side. The thing I will say about the Tracer is if you're doing homework here and you are trying to take this Tracer off early, you do obviously sacrifice it as a ban for the rest of the series. That's how these Fearlesses go. You got to make sure that you feel confident that you're going to perform well in a game where you're trying to take off a key piece off the chessboard. You really want to make sure you're executing on that. So if Tracer is the gut punch to yummYMeal that ILIAD NYX might think, they best make sure they execute best in this first map. And I'm sure gosh darn golly hoping they do. We'll be hopping into a short yummYMeal. Taking their time considering. I've seen a lot of these bans come on top of the DPS in the latest stages. I saw Genji's, but I also see them being paired with their typical supports. The people that are typically backing them up, those terrible twos. You see an Ana be banned away, and then a Genji the next round. You see a Baptiste get banned one round, alongside, who knows, a Bastion. You want to make sure that you're not investing everything on one style, because if you just take one piece off the board, sometimes it's enough to completely undercut a composition style that one team likes to play. So if you know that yummYMeal likes to really play around this Tracer, that's all you need to do. No further investment needed. And if yummYMeal are thinking the same thing, like, man, we also don't like that annoying dive poke comp, they might not even need to contribute a ban in a similar vein if they also don't like the Tracer. Sometimes you find that teams meet in the middle. They reach across the aisle, they shake hands, and say, yeah, that character does suck. I don't want to deal with that either. Potentially Freya still has been a pick that has made some splashes. Stays in the air and makes you beware all those arrows and bolas that rain down from above. On Oasis, I can imagine it being pretty frustrating. Updraft can gain that vertical ground quite easily. A center platform, but are you able to retain it? That becomes the all-important question. The real question, of course, we're all wondering is hot dogs or hamburgers? What do you have for your Independence Day barbecue? Me personally, I'm a big chili guy. That's what I just whipped up before getting on here on the cast. Warm belly full of chili. That's the best way you can hop into a game. Hopefully ILIAD NYX ate their dinner, made sure they got their macros up, and yummYMeal. Going to oblige with what we were talking about earlier, the fact that if you have a DPS ban, do you really need to double dip? If it's chili, my chili, you might. That John's delicious. But a Lucio is going to be the ban. Takes away from that dive, takes away from that speedster. And with that, we're going to be hopping into game rather shortly. Getting a view of the vistas the luscious oasis. It's ILIAD NYX. It's yummYMeal trying to look for that appetizer. But will they have the stomach for it, or will they bite off more than they can chew? That cat doesn't seem to have many fangs, but perhaps they're just hidden. A surprise for those not expecting. We're on Oasis here. Love the ambient lighting. Ambiance here is beautiful. Cool spot to, take the kids to. Look at the stars. Not a lot of air pollution here, despite it being metropolitan. That's not realistic. That's how you know it's a video game. Nonetheless. ILIAD NYX. And yummYMeal. Game 1 stepping up. Let's take a look at what we got for the compositions. You'll probably see Symmetra there just to gain a bit of extra movement, but you know what's interesting is that the fact we have Gray and Fire both going this Juno. No Lucio means we can't go double Speedster off the supports. Nonetheless, you can boost yourself up a little bit in different means. Genji steps up for both sides following the Symmetra switch off, so we're really trying to push the speed. The difference where you zig and zag, Invictus rocking the Sojourn, Nikki, Purple Cassidy. Hazard against the Ramatra as well. Hazard, of course, lends to that dive a bit more. Ramatra can stand all 10 toes down, but Melon has her foot planted on Niki's corpse. First blood, yummYMeal. Drip Tower goes down as well, and bodies are drip. They're dropping. yummYMeal got to back off. First point secured there by yummYMeal. In pretty efficient fashion. Separated thanks to some great play by Melon. That's unfortunate to see. Got to make sure that if you're a Ramatra, you're keeping an eye on that Hazard where they're going. Roll right through Aniki. The Disruptor field. Boost. Rue on the head. And Rue the day you try to step up. Aniki rolls back in only to die out. Skycer finishes off Wind, and Melon will take down Craig. A lot of trades, but not ones that ILIAD can really afford to be making, especially when Melon's got the 3-piece. Hazard is indeed living up to the name. Dude's on fire already. That's Juno's job. 40% security for yummYMeal. I feel like we're just slamming our heads into the wall that is yummYMeal. How's again trying to find off angle? Nope, going with the rest of the team, actually pushing down main. Ravenous Vortex comes through with the Dragon Blade as well. Boost in the back line already makes off of Kray's head. They will go down, but Rue's already dead. Both supports done. That Annihilation is not going to find all that much use. So they're able to easily back on out, and that wall quickly locks any chance of pursuit away. ILIAD NYX spends some of their best offensive resources for very little gain. Nemesis mode is used. And that Ravenous Vortex keeps Sojourn in place, but a good slide might keep him safe. Pops back in Omnic mode, only to turn back and realize, hey, where's my backline? They're all dead. Melon, once again, a violent leap forward as they have bloodlust in their eyes. Skyster does take down Fire. They will fall at their own hands. Gray goes down as well. 90% here. Melon, hit pops across the wall. He stole Genji's moves. Will he steal his life, though? Trying to keep Melon occupied is honestly not the bad strategy, but Driptire's got to quickly touch and does succeed, but runs right into a hazardous wall. Oof. That's gotta hurt. That is an unfortunate way to end things off, but overall just getting a great play from Melon. Skyster may be recognizing a bit too late how efficient that hazard was on that map. Round 1, uncontested. Gonna go to yummYMeal. There were moments. There were a couple picks. Getting down Foos that quickly was impressive. But I think the issue is we are not coalescing together as a team. Oftentimes, you would see Skyster step up on the Ramatra, and Melon would drop 2 down. Their dive comp is so efficient, it's able to outmaneuver, outpace, outkill. And this is the underdog matchup that our friends on ILIAD are looking to try to take down. Gotta hope that they're able to find some more resistance than that. Central high point taken by the Winston. That Skyster's now playing. So a bit more dive now to counter that hazard. Will it work out, though? 2 of the Reaper, canonically. The heroes should take this. We'll see if it's going to be that kind of fairy tale. Skyzer maintains high ground. yummYMeal are once again together. Whereas the Winston's really relying on someone else to find a pick individually. Goes up top looking for the Reaper. Destined rivals. Foos is not getting any ground. Utilizing those Hellfire shotguns from the sky while Winston instead finds themselves on terra firma. Quick lead back to safety, and Nikki charges up that railgun, but Skyzer's already dead. Wow, great railgun headshot though. Quickly evens the odds. Takes down Foos, finds Invictus as well. Double DPS damage. Double DPS down. Great work by the Sojourn. Attempts to move in by Melon. Denied though. Kiriko, the escort for Aniki, ensures that the Sojourn stays up. Good damage on top. Light shield though, nearly fights it. Wouldn't have those defenses necessary unless Aniki says otherwise. Sojourn already proving their utility. Fire switches to the bath, but that lamp gets zapped instantly. Point resecured by NYX. Only 22 gained by Yummy. Nothing too much to sneeze at whatsoever. Now Niki's by themselves. I really want to see what we had before. Cray attached to the hip. Keeping Nikki safe. 90% almost has that overclock. Drip tire. Starts to pour the damage on down, but can't find the best angle. As the rest of yummYMeal very fluidly, like water. Move off and enter point on the right side. Trying to corral them back. Drip tire. Moves in the back line, only to get whipped away by the Pizza. Bap has ultimate, but no one else from yummYMeal. That overclock's going to be far more useful, but the Amp Matrix comes out first. yummYMeal bloodlessly take back the point for the overclock. Could find some use. Great lamp, though. Keeps them safe. And even with Kiriko's help, Aniki can't do much about it. Kisune is going to be the response, but Brigitte has them rally to them. But you can't rally if you're dead. Dragon Blade instantly finds 3. Skyzer takes down Melon. And yummYMeal get absolutely mollywopped. 5-player kill streak there on top. It's a team kill for NYX. Never let yummYMeal get a single percent up above them as well. So hey, a moral and a physical victory. You can't complain about that. Already ILIAD NYX far surpassing that round 1. And it comes down to the fact that they're coalescing, they're using their ultimates a bit more cohesively, and also Aniki on this Sojourn pick is clearly performing a lot better than Cole Cassidy. Invictus, though, trying to restore honor to that name. The Deadeye ready, but does not have much health to speak of. Has to retreat on back. Finds a good angle, but do they want to let it rip right here? No. Just going to try to use those basic shots. Look for the headshots. Can't get it, though. Not too much value. The orbital comes down. Melon in trouble. Absolutely annihilated, but the downpour could result in good things for the rest of the team. Fire burns away too, and Foos finds Aniki as well. Wind knocks down Rue from the sky, and ILIAD NYX on their last legs. Skyzer will die too. A team kill in response. Tit for tat. We'll show you those same moves right back. 50% here by yummYMeal. 92 for ILIAD NYX. Precipice of victory. Close, but no banana. Sorry, Winston. Niki's been a bit quiet since that initial outburst. Started to show their head, started to get their head above water. Melon now on this Diva, trying to respond to the presence of this Sojourn. You can see it already. That's why she's been a bit more quiet. That Matrix is going to eat up all those shots, railgun and regular. Jets back to safety. Here comes the high noon. But will it find the monkey? Leaping back to safety. Gonna be an ult used more for zoning than actual value. Lamp's dead as well. But the Winston's still raging out. Takes down Wind. Now the wind in their sails. Rue, though, going to fall nonetheless. Boost cuts the line from the kite. Cuts down Skyzer as well, but Apple for Fire will die too. Both supports of ILIAD NYX are done, but the overclock will respond. Drops the mech and drops Invictus as well. Tries to find the last few shots on Foos, will be successful. Aniki shows their head once again. Gives you a reason to respect the name. Triptire says, hey, don't forget about me. Slices down Wind, you can't rally for nothing. 99% yummYMeal. Barely are shy of that victory, but it's ILIAD NYX forcing them back, and they will take the point right back. It's 1-1. What a better showing. Very impressive, to say the least. And I think it really comes down to Aniki. Look at this overclock, man. Got immediately both Melon and Invictus. Tons of aggression, but also that cohesion. I love the fact that Cray was doing a much better job of sticking to the DPS, and I think that Skycer as well was, at the very least, if they're moving up with the Winston, they were causing more havoc. Now they're on the Ramacha for this third point. How does this do? On Ramacha, you really need to stick by the team unless you're in Annihilation. I'm expecting them to make sure they're keeping careful tabs on the rest. Melon's got the Ramacha as well. A true nemesis. But not going to enter that exact mode. Invictus the first to fall. Aniki on the Freaky Friday swap actually takes him down with the Cole. Skycer drops boost with a swing of their fist. A bit of trouble. Skycer receives the heals. Courtesy of Ruin Cray. Step on the right side, no. Drops the Vortex, and Cray takes out Melon. Point very handily secured there by ILIAD NYX. Boost on this Genji's been having a hard time lately. I think Aniki's just on a tear. That last round will absolutely give you momentum. Around the back boost. Can't find the mark with any of the shurikens. Now's where Skycer's got to be careful. Pushing him a bit far, but not taking too much poke for it. Advancing right forward, though, is going to be the enemy tank. Melon will move forward, and Driptire will drop. Cray is out as well. That's what happens when you're not with the rest. Skycer does get fire in response, and actually Rue holds the back line. Doesn't need the ultimate to say rally to me. Melon will die, but Rue shortly afterwards. It's vengeance. Skycer takes Invictus's head as a response. Does hold the point, but it was awfully close. I will still say I think that was very, very nearly rough. Racious Vortex, I do like the fact that we opted for that perk that you could detonate to try to bring down a Genji mid-Swift Strike, bring down the Sojourn in the middle of the dash. High Noon is going to be used, but Nemesis mode right in front, blocking all the bullets with that beefy Omnic body. Not even necessary. Driptire drops the Doppelganger. Boost will fall. Driptire tries to back out, leaving the rest of the work to their friend, the Nemesis Omnic. Annihilation swallows the soul of wind. And ILIAD NYX can ride on the winds of victory. Back to point, 80% to nothing. yummYMeal. Hungering for some percentage. Feast or famine, it seems that. Currently, it's the latter for them. Boost has that Dragon Blade ready, though. Here's where it all explodes. Torpedoes are out, and Aniki drops fire. Wind's dead, too. No supports left, but the Kasune will last after. Foost will fall as well. Instantly, 3 bodies drop, and nothing that Ramacha can really do about it. Down beneath, Sojourn does ride on to try to get something going in the back line, but Aniki guns him down like a dog behind the barn. Skycer finishes off their twin. We do have the response with that Dragon Blade. Rue's cut down. You can't be caught lacking just yet. Foost finds Aniki as well to deflect. Stays alive for a bit longer to cause hell. But now it's a reverse from Driptire. Can they take down the Juno? No. Gun beats sword. Still holding the point is Skycer. And Cray's got guns of their own. Foost will fall. And a C9 from yummYMeal will result in ILIAD NYX's map 1 victory. Juno riding a bit too high there. Wow. This was definitely an amazing play by Driptire, man. Finding 3 in this map 2, or rather round 2, was incredible. But going back to that third round, honestly, there is a lot of amazing plays to look back from even there. I think the fact that they were able to so efficiently make away with 3 heads in that one attempt at a retake from yummYMeal, it shows light years of progress just from round 1 to that end of that map. But I think it comes down to Skycer doing a better job of locking down the rest of the team, but also I think Rue on that Brigida being that backline tank, a bit more stoic, a bit more stalwart, allows Skycer that liberty to step forward. She's the anchor. And even when Skycer stepped up maybe, in my opinion, a bit too far, Skycer still got some picks, and Rue was able to take down the diving Genji. See it right here, this crazy fight where Skycer gets one, and Aniki makes sure to take down fire right after Katsune gets even dropped, and Rue was constantly thwarting Foost. In this case, Foost kind of goes crazy. Not going to lie. But, results the same. Map coming at you next is going to be Watch Point Gibraltar, so a bit of payload action. A bit less stagnant, a bit more movement. But hey, man, if you were expecting ILIAD NYX to roll over and show their soft underbelly, abso-freaking-lutely not. You're the cat. You roll over. I'm going to scratch your tummy. yummYMeal, unfortunately, had so much gas to start things off that maybe they had an empty tank in those second 2 rounds. But they still got 2 more maps to prove their mettle at the very least. We'll see what they're made of. Because this is a very capable team. You look at the records here. You see what they've gotten done so far. It's pretty gosh darn impressive. Both of these teams are 1 win into the playoffs. But regular season, 11 wins to 5 losses. That's pretty gosh darn good for Yummy. On our side, 8 wins, 8 losses regular season. Obviously, on paper, you'd expect this to be an uphill battle, but ILIAD NYX, they don't care about the numbers. And that's always a respectable aspect of any team. Looking for the P's and B's coming up next. We'll see what characters are going to be taken off the map. It does seem yummYMeal are sick and tired of that dive. They say, get that Winston out of here. I don't blame you, man. It was causing kind of a riot in that game, too. Ana is going to be the response to try to prevent that Genji from potentially getting off any more damage than it was. Foost was, I think, one of the rising stars, or one of the shining points of yummYMeal's comp. And clearly very comfortable on that Genji. So why not just take it away, huh? But does mean that map 2's coming at you. If ILIAD NYX are able to take this one down, ride that momentum, take the inertia from the prior map, it is going to spell, I think that it's going to be a 3-0. If ILIAD NYX take this one, I think it's 3-0. I think if yummYMeal cause them a problem, make it 1-1, this series could very well go to 5. But I'm always a proponent of the mental game. And sometimes that can be even more important than who's on the sticks and who's on Team NYX. Stepping up here for offense first. Going to be our friends on NYX. Defending to the end. We'll see how capable they are of that. As they prepare for holy combat.
If we do this right, they won't even know what happened.
yummYMeal. Start with the sniper comp. Nothing too surprising on a map like this. Ashe can be very effective on those overhangs, but you have to make it first past that one overhang to really start getting efficacious. Skycer on this hazard. Now that's the big question mark for me. How does that do against the Diva? Coach Gun up top, Invictus takes that off angle, trying to look for the Tracer. That's going to be a bit of a tough target. On the Freya now. How does Aniki do on this pick? So far, not too shabby. Take aim, fire, win already out of mech. You can already see the battles are forming. It's going to be Aniki up against Invictus in many of these long-range shots. The battle of Tracers, though, Foost has Drip Tire's number. Root goes down as well. It's a shoddy start, unfortunately, for ILIAD NYX. Overhang it, will be taken down really easily. Aniki actually does manage to back down Foost off of their back pedal. What a brilliant retreat, and also amazing support by Cray. Again, Cray and Aniki, an even better comedy duo. Oh wait, Skycer will go down. Invictus shoots him up. Diva goes in. Wind trying to back him into a corner. And Invictus takes that high ground once again. Waiting for the rotation. Wow, great dynamite. Instantly blows up any chance for Drip Tire to get active. Worth noting, these Tracers were banned last game, so first time we're getting to see them on the field. Boost will fall as well. Neither Tracer having the best of luck. Skycer certainly is also in the same boat. Fire. Holy Fire burns away 2 more. Near unfettered stop here from yummYMeal. They march on to take first point. That is rough. This Tracer's just getting gunned down the moment it goes in outside of a doorway. Drip Tire shot out by the bottle rockets. Win chases down. Trying to take down Skycer. That defense matrix can't save you. Neither can your diva when she's occupied. Seneca's going to make quick work of Ruin. Invictus drops a Nikki. In these 1v1 battles, and certainly the 3v1s too, yummYMeal simply have their number. And that's why I say that ILIAD NYX need to coalesce. They need to get together. In the words of Troy Bolton, together, 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 everyone. Might not be a High School Musical, but maybe we gotta join hands and sing a song of woe, of victory, of damage to come. Good dynamite being applied there. The Kitsune as well. Pulse Bomb not gonna find the mark. Cray, though, is already done. Bob is certainly doing something. So is the Diva. Bomb, too. Aniki is dead. Trip Tire shot out. Skycer lights out. ILIAD NYX. Recipient end of the team kill, but yummYMeal, they take second point. And the long march up main. yummYMeal. I said it's a marathon, not a sprint. They're trying to prove me wrong. I like this switch to Ramatra a bit better. I think this dive comp is not working out. Winston was clearly very much more comfortable. Skycer's done well in the Ramatra so far. Let's see what we can do now. Railgun not able to finish the job on Invictus. Sound Barrier is the response, but maybe not enough pressure there to warrant it. The Lamp's going to be the response, but Aniki still does take down Invictus. Good pick. Aniki, though, will fall as well to the boot from Foost. A bop on the back of the head is all it takes. Ramatra gets in close quarters, thinks better of it. Skycer being slicered up. Barrier on the corner, but Diva and Tracer on your left side. And no one can quite pick them off just yet. In the corner, just where the Diva wants you to be. Skycer able to back themselves out. Some good heals come in as well from Cray. And that keeps him up in good standings. Cray drops the lamp as well. But Foos has that pulse bomb in pocket. Only ultimate available quite just yet. Who to place it on? Seneca places the bullets firmly into the skull of the Lucio. Pulse bomb dropped, but no bodies will. Skycer responds by dropping Seneca. Fire is extinguished. Drip Tire, though, and Skycer will fall shortly after. Aniki keeps the battle alive, drops the Ash. And it's the first fight that ILIAD NYX seem liable to win. The Diva intent on not letting that happen. A respite. A brief gasp of air in the lungs of ILIAD NYX. Now they can reconsider, but not so many resources to fall back on top of. Both support ultimates, and the first one's going to come out already from yummYMeal. It's the Kitsune. Ant Matrix is ready, as is the Diva Bomb. Have to use it already, as that Ant Mech is destroyed. Wind, though, first one to be taken out. The Lamp uses well, massive resources, but it could be your tank falling too. Skycer barely able to stay alive thanks to a well-placed barrier. And Wind switches off back to the hazard. Annihilation ready. Overclock as well, the best offensive tools ILIAD NYX could hope for. That Dragon Blade's coming short as rain. Ant Matrix still kept in pocket. Bob ready down this long, narrow channel. A very impactful ultimate. Ant Matrix placed in a bit of an awkward spot. Has the lamp as well in response to the Dragon Blade. Slices apart that furniture. I hate IKEA. Skycer hates Seneca. Gonna drop them too. One last fist to the face and Wind will fall as well. You've been annihilated. Bob is down, but not gonna find too much damage for it. The Dynamite has found no home. Instead, Invictus gets a home in base. Fire right alongside. And then they were roommates. ILIAD NYX, a rat cornered, fights its hardest. In this cat and mouse game, it seems the mouse has not quite given up. ILIAD NYX taking inspiration from the legendary hero, Jerry of Tom and Jerry fame. Pulse bomb off the mark. Foos in trouble now. Recalls back in a bad spot. All those blinks used to get back into the safe spot. Trying to put the danger into Skycer instead. Great Voracious Vortex eats up that lamp to start. And the damage to follow. Win will drop first. Cray takes down Invictus as well. And ILIAD NYX taking steps forward now. Only a minute 30. When so shortly ago it seemed like yummYMeal had everything in their pockets and 5 minutes on that clock. Time flies when you're having fun. But also when you can't advance any because the push is just being snuffed out every time by ILIAD NYX. But now no resources in pockets save for that Kitsune. On both sides, it's instantly dropped. It's a hallway, the red carpet. stained red by the blood of fire. Gray finds him, and Nikki drops down the lamp and wind. Dropped by Drip Tire. Gray looks for more. Kitsune going to wildly fling out the kunai at anyone who moves. Seneca will be folded, and Tracer will escape. Minute remaining. And very minimal resources used on both sides for that, but the downpour is ready. Hope you brought your umbrella, Drip Tire. Overclock. Watching Nikki's positioning. Will they use it on that overhang? Ash is going to try to shoot you off it to start things off. Dynamite, though, off the mark. Couldn't find the rebound. Now here comes the downpour. Only does find the tank, and Skyster's got plenty of health left. And Nikki from the top ropes. No, drops down low. Has overclocked, though, but Tracer's causing havoc in the back line. Skyster's in trouble, but they're looking for Hazard first. Foos has got that pulse. You got to make sure you back off from it. Around that corner, Foos has found good cover, and they found a Nikki's life as well. Takes down Rue. The pulse drops, but it's an empty air. Happy 4th of July. The fireworks begin to fall. Skyster takes down Seneca. Gray drops Invictus. And around the corner, we look for the Kitsune. What's for dinner? It's Fox. Can't get it, though, just yet. Wind puts Gray on a spit. But a few more punches put Wind in a body bag. It's overtime. It's Foos around the corner. Has got to hold this point by their lonesome. Not a likely story if ILIAD NYX got much to say about it. Rally to me, though. That lamp alongside it might keep him alive for a bit longer. Bob's trying to do something. Not enough, though. Invictus. Their joy turns to ashes in their mouth. They do take down a Nikki from the grave, and the point begins to advance. Someone's got to touch. The Kitsune going to speed up the charge, but Fire's looking awfully low. The Dragon Blade to start things off. Drip Tire deflects madly to keep themselves safe. Someone get this rodent away from me. Rue backs off Foos and drops them too. The Hamston tries to roll back to safety. A lamp still allowed, but quickly destroyed. Doomfist brings doom to all who try to step up and oppose. And ILIAD NYX holds strong at the end of the day. A 5-minute hold at the 3rd point. Whoa. Whew. Well. This often, I feel like this oftentimes happens in Gibraltar, you know? You see someone just march up, either get stopped at that first archway, or you march up completely unhindered. And then that last point, somehow that last point, man, where did the time go? You start off with 5 minutes, 30 seconds. And all of a sudden, you're looking at that defeat screen. But we're not done just yet. ILIAD NYX got to do the same thing, if not better. We'll see what tools they use for the job. Strip Tire on the Tracer. I've got to say, though, I was about to say, I'd much rather see that Genji. Foos, on the other hand, is a Foostin threat. You got to be careful for that guy. That's a nocturnal creature right there. He sees in the dark, hunts in the dark. That's where they get their yummy meals. Moon's not out on the map, but where I'm standing, it's about 10 o'clock. Best watch out. Night is dark and full of terrors. Now, Invictus on the defensive end is going to be an interesting person to watch. Alongside Seneca. Seneca on this Baptiste, getting a surprising amount of value offensively and defensively. But Aniki rocks the Ash as well. Dynamite. Arshi blows. Forces back the tank. So decent damage applied, but Skyster is a bit too overzealous. That lamp saves you for a bit longer. Now Wind rushes down Rue. And Drip Tire will go down too. It's a rough start, considering what things happen on the other end, where yummYMeal made mincemeat of the initial defense of NYX. But maybe it's just the reverse card. Maybe NYX struggle on the first point, but find a way to overcome, and through resilience can battle right through the next two. Skycer takes to the sky, trying to deny Ash any purchase, and actually doing a great job, forces Invictus to back off with the Dynamite, but they still got the shots on lock. Aniki and Drip Tire, both lights out. Fire able to get the the baby diva out. I'm gonna rock her in a cradle real quick. Rue as well. Pulse Bomb online here. Drip Tire decides to go back to that Tracer. Maybe on offense it'll work out better. issue for me is that Win knows where you're coming from, and that's where Win specializes in just instantly dropping drip. Up top, Aniki finds purchase. Boost. Lays down the hurt on Rue. Pulls bomb in pocket, but keeping it close. Not even needing that. They're acing the hole. Things get real dire. Gotta try to put down this Tracer, but it's a lot easier said than done. Drip tire. Quick hello to the cameras. Let's not focus on looking pretty for the production. Let's focus on getting some kills, some picks on board. 4 ultimates here. 3 yummYMeal. 2 for our friends on ILIAD NYX, but Aniki's already out of it. Dynamite. Perfect spot. Placed brilliantly by Invictus. More time taken off the clock. Cover found for the Tracer. Quickly dashes back up to get that quick health pack. Forces a lot of attention from Invictus, but yummYMeal, we're still able to maintain pressure on the other members. Good pulse bomb applied, but a better Suzu. Keeps Geiser inside the mech. Bob begins to do something on the side of Aniki, but they're awfully low. Nursing the last few ticks of that health bar. Someone's got to look to back them up, but they can't quite find him. Bob want to find pressure off that hallway and also find the D-mech, but Win's got a bomb to drop. Buys a bit more time. And now only with 60 seconds remaining can ILIAD NYX push to that underhand. Round the back goes Win. Applying a lot of damage and pressure there to Skyster, but they do have the bomb as well. Kitsune is going to be the first one to drop the bomb as well. Aniki trades out for Cray as Foos will fall. That might be enough though. They've lost the Tracer and Rue calls that for the go button. Seneca gets pooped back to base. Aniki though, unfortunately falls underneath the sins of another one's Bob. Drip Tire answers back, finds vengeance by taking down Invictus. But up top, Fire. Waves down, suppressing Fire. And a TP back to safety. Pulse bomb in the pocket of Drip Tire, but they gotta rush up now. 20 seconds left here. A lamp well applied. Keeps the Diva inside the bot. Drip Tire backs this Baptiste down. Finds a great stick as well. But it's not gonna be enough. It's eaten up instead by the Diva. All that work, man, for naught. Win will be demeched. But Fire responds back, takes down Aniki. Cray pops Foost on the back of the head. Rue drops the baby. But killing infants, will it be enough? We gotta kill the real threats instead. Kitsune retreats on back and the first point secured. ILIAD NYX do advance forward. The real difference I'm seeing here is just the capability of Foost to find individual picks that we're not seeing from the enemy side, or rather from our side. NYX have got to be capable of being independent. If you're gonna play a comp like this, Tracer is not going to stick with the team. The nest is gonna have to be left at some point. But when that happens, you need to find something just like that. Aniki starts it off by dropping Invictus, and now the Kitsune can't fall on the Ash's dead ears. Cray, though, will go down in response. Win takes credit. Pulse bomb ready. Want to try to find on a target who is not near Wind or near that Suzu from Fire. The bomb is going to demech the other Diva, so Skyser, it's a good play off there. Invictus, though, holds firm on the high ground, nearly having Bob ready to try to drop down Drip Tire, but a good blink back. Grants safety. Skyser will allow it for no one. Fire and Wind brought down to earth. Badia, Sadie, you remember this play. Bob's back, baby, but yummYMeal side instead. Cray drops Invictus soon after the call for action, and now Drip Tire can look for the safe 1v1 here, up against Foost. A good confidence restorer. And also, good pressure restorer as well. Up top, they decided to switch their attentions immediately from Wind to Seneca. He did not see that coming. Neither did Drip Tire. Invictus drops them with the coach gun, and Drip Tire responds by leaving a present for Invictus. 1 pulse. Bob finishes off the mech and the baby inside it. And now it's the ILIAD NYX looking at this third point. A minute 50 left on the clock. Far less time, but it's absolutely possible. These first few strides are going to be rather free. It's really around this bend that things get tricky. Skyser's back on the Ramatra, where they feel most comfortable, in the most hazardous spot. Win picks up the Zarya. One big team fight ultimate that they're saving up for, because there's only time for one big team fight left. Boost has that pulse. Opts to use it on the Ramatra, beautifufully placed, and Skyser's erased. Rue, gonna make sure you rue the day for that though. They respond in kind. Win will take down the Brigitte at the end of the day. A trade in favor of yummYMeal. They hold strong. 60 seconds left. Kitsune available to both sides. And Boost with no pulse is still a dangerous player in the game. I think he's back in the Sojourn though, and that feels good too. Chicken noodle soup at the end of the day. It's all about comfort meals. What feels warm in your belly? And yummYMeal, can we try to overload their senses with the bullets raining down from Aniki's guns? Drip Tire, unfortunately, couldn't stick around. Neither could Skyser. Win going to continuously blow them over like the big bad wolf themselves. Aniki goes down as well. 20 seconds left. One last touch is all ILIAD NYX have to their name. And still 30 more meters separate them from victory. A Graviton Surge is all they might need, and Win's gonna start off quickly by taking down Rue. Gray will fall as well. Aniki, Deadeye's down Foost with nothing but the shots of the revolver, but it's not gonna be enough. It's a team kill. Invictus, the almighty eye in the sky, ensures that no ne'er-dwellers can step up. yummYMeal, take map 2. Chicken noodle soup, Seneca, you get it. All about comfort. Whew. Tough one, man, tough one. It was really well fought. They both made it to that end. I just think that yummYMeal had so much momentum off those first two. And honestly, I think the issue was just Foost on this Tracer. I now understand completely why they banned that Tracer first. It was to preserve the momentum. And in fact, ILIAD NYX have done an amazing job in trying to set the rhythm in their favor with that first map. You banned away one of their best picks. Now, unfortunately, the sad reality is you have to deal with it the rest of the day. And Drip Tire, in a battle of Tracer to Tracer, ends up looking like a Tracing. Whereas Foost is looking like they're freestyling a bit more. I like Drip Tire really on that Genji. I think that's where Foost can't match their fury. But it's yet to be seen. Maybe just this is not the map for it. You saw they started with the Genji, didn't end up feeling comfortable with it. And now, instead, we move on to Kurtavasa. Whew. And I've got to say, I'm gonna go back to my prediction here. I think it's gonna go to 5. I think this is going to go to 5. My vocal cords won't thank me for the prediction, but I stare into my crystal ball. I don't see this ending so easily. ILIAD NYX, of course, having a map pick advantage is certainly nice. So maybe they're able to just take this one easily. You, of course, want to make sure that you're winning off the maps that you're choosing. That could be a huge boon to us. But I'm curious who they ban out next. Thinking back to it. Who's really a problem? I mean, that Ashes, of course, is a target pick on a certain map that you're not going to see an Ashe on every single map. So is that necessarily a ban here? Nah, probably not. But that D.Va was really annoying. I think the D.Va was quite the threat, quite the thorn in our side. And now Winston's back. So deny them their dive and keep what we have in our back pocket. That's the hope. That's the prayer. But hold faith. ILIAD Knights, we can absolutely still take this back. Ban's coming at you in just a moment here to see what's being picked on each side. From ILIAD NYX, seems that we're going to opt for looking at the supports instead of the tanks, taking off that Juno. Now, that's definitely more tailored to the map, since we didn't obviously see that last game too much. That wasn't really a prevailing threat. Nonetheless, I have faith that they understand the ins and outs of what Juno is capable of on this map. Don't want to let it go to Kodavasa. That's A-okay. Ramatra is certainly a target ban, though. That's a bit different in the sense that we've seen that be consistently played here by ILIAD NYX rather effectively. So Slicer, feel free to go back on the Winston, but these tight corridors feel a bit claustrophobic. Might not be the easiest case. And you really want a Ramatra in these flashpoints where it does get claustrophobic, where you can easily back them off with that. A Primal feels good, but it's not the same impact in the sense that it doesn't just instantly force you to back off. Once again, ILIAD NYX and yummYMeal. 1-to-1 all tied up. No matter which side you're rooting for, gotta give respect to both these teams. They are playing very, very prime. You can only hope that it continues up in that same fashion. As we hop into map, we'll be seeing shortly. Flashpoint's always interesting. On this one, I always feel like it always goes to 5 for this Flashpoint map, for me at the very least. It's just my bad luck, though. Or good luck, depending on the perspective. More bonus Overwatch. Can't complain about that. But here we are. And again, look at that. Beautiful, right? Sure, like the trees are a little low definition, but you know, like, sure there's like some tasty fruit at the top. Maybe like a cack or two, monkey or something. Huatis, maybe. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know where Karabasa is. I gotta learn my geography here. You know who could guess? Rainbolt. He'd look at this fake video game map and he'd tell you exactly where that is on the GeoGuessr. Guaranteed. You know I'm gonna GeoGuess. I'm GeoGuessing. ILIAD NYX are taking this one home. In spades, Skycer on the hazard. Drip Tire. Back on the Genji where I like to see him. Boost on the Tracer where you want to see them. Win sticking to the Zarya, trying to carry over success that we saw from that end of the last round. I respect that for sure. Can't say the hazard is the same feeling. Probably feeling a bit more bitter about it. Tears apart the lamp and Drip Tire. Rips Wind into 2. Flashpoint secured by yummYMeal, nonetheless. But Skycer's got something to say about that as well. Quickly shoots down Invictus. Looking for more, the violent leap. Gets caught on the guardrails though. Hey, safety first. Gray. Not going to allow any safety for Foost. They'll fall. Quick retake there by ILIAD. No sense in crying over 16%, especially if you can surpass it that quick. Good job, ILIAD NYX. Skycer found the right target. That's Zarya. Not very mobile. Skycer leaps. Skycer defeats. It's as simple as that. But Seneca's been playing very well on this Baptiste. Fire's been on this Hideko the entire time. So honestly, that Juno ban, I wonder what value it's going to see in the long run. Rue Lupinus on this Lucio, and Fire on Aniki's head top. Takes them down. Up top, without that Sojourn, not the easiest job for Foost to take out. Good recall, right back into the hazard, backs off for Seneca to finish the job. That's a great amount of faith they place in the support. And rightfully so, Invictus and Wind all getting on the action, all my homies eat. Aniki the sole survivor. 80% secured there by NYX. Hey, don't punch the wall, Aniki. You did great. You're gonna hurt your fist. Actually, it's a robot fist. She's good. She's good. Never mind. Nonetheless, property damage. We get a big bill in the mail tomorrow. So we want a big check, a FACEIT check. We rise all the way to finals. Keep in, and the Kitsune right afterwards, but the Graviton is gonna instantly follow it up, and Seneca's got the bullets to count for. Using that Amp Matrix so perfectly alongside Wind. Perfect conjunction, perfect cohesion. It's a team kill for yummYMeal. They take the advanced guard just to prevent ILIAD NYX from trying to retouch. But they're going to use everything to prevent them from standing in their way. It's the downpour, it's the overclock, it's that sound barrier, it's the OT touch too. Invictus drops Skycer. Not the way you wanted to start that fight, but ILIAD NYX do get it. They quickly cede control. 94% being built up in wind. Drops Cray down to 0. Fire opens fire on 2, and Driptire and Aniki will both die. Change this Kiriko's role. She is DPS, baby. First flashpoint to yummYMeal. Oof. Rough to say the least. But still see greater things. You can still see the sun rise on ILIAD and NYX victory. Invictus in a bit of trouble, but a Kitsune is the response. The lamp as well keeps Invictus safe. And all of those Kune, each one finding a mark. Fire takes down their opposing Kiriko and drops Skycer too. Might be the priority target you need to look for. And Nikki recognizes that, but maybe a bit too late. Their objective done. They decide to jump off the cliff. Let the intrusive thoughts win. Another team kill for yummYMeal. Tragic, to say the least. But hopefully, we can find a way to regain. We know that sometimes ILIAD NYX on that first map, that first round, start off a bit slow. But you really can't let this second one go down without a large fight. Foos has got that pulse bomb in check, and that's what I'm really scared about. Especially when Skycer's going in like that. A very vulnerable target. Suzu's already used. That's the go button. Foos drops down the stick. Aniki in the dirt. Skycer 6 feet down too. Driptire will join them. Rue as well says, hey, wait for me. Another team kill for yummYMeal. Too clean. The fact that they waited for that Suzu, Foos was in the perfect position. And that's what makes this player so deadly on the Tracer. Positioning, tactics, good technical skill, great aim. The Graviton, that Suzu won't save you. Foos will fall, but Wind blows over 3 more. All those little pigs. yummYMeal gobbling up some bacon and take that second point. Let me tell you, man, they're putting the flash in Flashpoint. It is going to be over in a split second if ILIAD NYX cannot find a way back through. They have 3 ultimates in pocket, including that sound barrier, only an overclocked yummYMeal's name, but the Kitsune will be on shortly. And Foost, always the threat. Between Fire and this Tracer, you have 2 very slippery targets that are honestly bringing the most picks. Kitsune starts off, but it's a response from Cray, slicing right into that bubble, and they will pop it, actually. The downpour comes through in a violent leap forward. Invictus will fall next. The Fox can't go anywhere. She's been hounded down by Driptire. ILIAD NYX only use 2 ultimates in exchange for 1 and find a great fight. Now that's what you want to see. Driptire with this Dragon Blade in hand has got my attention. Nikki can use that high noon as well to try to back someone off, but only if they stay alive long enough. Foost almost has that pulse ready. You want to try to take them down before you see him find it. High noon is ready. The lamp sliced apart. Seneca shortly afterwards, but Driptire can't stay alive much longer after. Fire will take him down. Skycer, though, the spike shield finishes them off as well. It's an overclock, bouncing around at Lucio. Only eats the bullet for their tank. Skycer, in a fury, will leap forward and finish the job. Holding the line, but yummYMeal already had taken back the point. So unless there's confidence, you can try to get it back. Not too much sense in more bloodshed. But clearly, NYX do not want to give it up that easy. A pulse bomb in the back, though, might make you reconsider. Aniki is dead. Skycer whittled down. The spike shield barely keeps him up. Not for much longer, though. Who else but Fire to burn him away? Wind just holding them down the point. All that power built up by all those bubbles. Invictus. Disruptor field drops Cray, and they will tear apart Rue and Driptire with those beams. A retake by yummYMeal, 95 to NYX. Overall, a good stall. But now how to get it back, especially with that Graviton. Can Driptire reflect it if they get up close enough? Unlikely. And you're seeing it already used. You saw Driptire tried to get it back in your face, but instead it's Wynn's fist dropping you. One punch, one more body hits the floor. TKO. Foos takes down Rue. Seneca will be the response from Iniki. But up against the Zarya in a 1v1. Not quite looking like the best of chances for our friend Cole Cassidy. Right with the TP back, but 97%. yummYMeal. You have an OT from NYX, but Wynn's got the damage to follow. Driptire is already dead. The downpour is in, and Fire will be taken out by it. Not enough are the downpouring rains, though, to keep Skycer safe as Foos is on the prowl. Wynn drops Rue and the other supports as well. yummYMeal able to take that third flashpoint, able to take map 3. Oof. Gotta say, man, hard fought. That third part, you could really see some of the gears clicking into place, but every single graviton was perfectly placed, and that's a perfect example right of it. And in those bigger moments, if your ultimates are just finding more success, every boost pulse right there, waiting for that Suzu to go down. It's just unfortunate, and I think it also just comes down to Fire and Foost getting those picks off without any assistance necessary. They're able to be autonomous without any issue. And now we stand at death's door. We stand looking at the precipice of certain doom. ILIAD NYX. They've put up a hell of a battle. Can they keep it going? I said it's going to 5. I don't want to see them make a liar of me. But we'll be finding out shortly. Map pick once again goes to our friends on NYX. This one didn't quite work out for them. Push mode, certainly in the future. And push is an interesting one to talk about too, because, man, if the momentum goes against you in push, I think it's very different than just payload. Or it could be hybrid too, to be fair. I'd rather see it be hybrid. Yeah, I think so. Because the issue with push, if you let them get all the momentum, like we saw in map 2, you're not going to be able to fight back. You have to win several fights strung together in a row, and that's what's difficult. Consistency. Without any time to breathe. Map, though, is being locked down. And gosh darn if the font on my computer screen isn't too small for me to read it. We'll be finding out shortly. Runasapi, my dear friend Hippie says, thank you. And thanks to our production. Headrammer as well. An ace on the cams. Keep the prod lights on. And let's see who are shutting the lights off in terms of the characters. This is no surprise to me. I look at my crystal ball and I see Kiriko. And indeed, the Kitsune is dead. Thank God. Because Fire was, pardon me, Fire on that pick. I'll see myself out. But not before we cast this last potential map, but hopefully more to come. On yummYMeal's side, what do they have to fear? Genji. I just say get rid of the Genji. You want to force them to make a Tracer duel with Foos? That feels great. Or Hazard. Wouldn't be the worst idea either. Keep on banning these tanks away. And it seems to be working to frustrate Splicer. Not that I want to see Skycer banned out, but if you're looking to go for the most optimal, efficient methodology of disassembling your enemy team, you keep on going and attacking the weak spot. The spot you see is bringing you victory. Let's see if they're capable of doing it. Maybe they're going to show mercy instead. Maybe, you know, they say, well, enough bloodshed for today. Why don't I just ban mercy? Ban ooh, there's a play. Hold on. Consider that. Ban mercy. Well, can you imagine the statement that you're making there? I'm not going to play mercy. I'm not going to play any kind of support. yummYMeal taking their sweet time, playing with their food like the cats they are. ILIAD NYX. The mouse is between their jaws. But I've read Redwall enough times to tell you the mice can fight back. Genji will be the ban. I'm not surprised. Drip Tire has been performing very consistently on this pick. And now you throw them into a sense of uncomfortability in a match that decides everything. This is exactly when you want to throw one of their more consistent players off kilter. And it's going to come down to Slicer to really bring the heat. Let's see if they're capable of such. Once again, I encourage you to take in the glorious mountain view. Hear the birds chirping. The sun shining. The monkeys cackling. And the bloodshed about to begin. Or not. Maybe enough bloodshed for today. Actually, guys, they've decided to work things out through diplomacy instead. I respect that. That's cool. You know, it's nice when you see games won and lost on the drafting table. There's going to actually have a debate about it instead. So keep a lookout for that, guys. They're going to probably send in Skycer to say, true or false, Winston best character. But no, in reality, a quick little pause here or there. Honestly, a good thing for ILIAD NYX to try to buy some time in sense of regaining that mental stability. Find tranquility. You don't have to play Zenyatta to do it. Look for a way to feel back in your happy place. But hopefully, everyone on ILIAD NYX is feeling fresh, funky, and ready to get busy. Ready to get those hands dirty. On the other side, yummYMeal, you cool off the Jets a little bit, right? A timeout works both ways. Yes, it gives them time on the side of yummYMeal, but did they really need it? They've been performing at such a peak level that it's kind of nice to try to reduce the speed a bit, force them to pump the brakes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down there. You're not going to be getting into the game that quick, which means you're going to have to reflect a bit more. When you think about that time that you missed that pulse bomb, think about how embarrassing that was. Think about that moment you accidentally got booped off the ledge. Think about the time you stepped off the ledge. yummYMeal, wasn't that bad? Oof. You don't want that to happen again, right? Map 4 coming at you. We're in a Sapi here. Once again, taking the views. Breathe in. Breathe out. And make sure the enemy can't breathe ever again.
Objective unlocks in 30 seconds.
It's push, baby. But as Newton once said, every force has an equal and opposite reaction. I'm sure ILIAD NYX are reacting mighty strongly to being on their back foot. Skycer's back on the Ramatra. And Win is sticking to the Zarya, staying loyal. Gracious Vortex. Skycer's got a fist with this Zarya's name on it. But Foos, unfortunately, doing what they do best, takes down Rue in the meantime. Guys around the corner, trying to duel their darndest with Win, but you just can't win that fight without assistance, and that's where I think I need to see Skycer play with the team. This Ramatra is not meant to be diving. You're not a Winston. Look down, you're not a monkey. I see no flesh, nor bone. Just cold, hard steel. And 5 cold, hard players on yummYMeal. Advance forward. A fight where they gave very little ground because Win can stall for so much time, and Foost can reliably win the 1v1. Now it's Seneca, though, on this Juno, worth noting. Fire on the Baptiste. And first point secured already for yummYMeal. Aniki goes down there to Invictus. All those shots on all these shields going to be used very wisely by the Sojourn to charge up those railguns. First ultimate is likely going to be Foost. With that pulse, Drip Tire, no Genji available. Step to the Tracer as well. But we've seen this before. It's going to take a lot from Driptire to match Foost's energy. But I believe. You've got to believe. If you don't believe in yourself, who else will? Deadeye around the corner. Forces a retreat, but a great lamp is actually going to save everyone. That's the power of interior decorating there. Fire knows it. Taking some lessons from Seneca. Ant Matrix dropped as well. Unfortunately, not quite the best with that positioning. Skycer takes advantage and drops him. Enters Nemesis form. Prey actually drops down Foost, but that pulse bomb is going to blow up Rue as compensation. Foost is always trading. Never goes down without bringing one to the grave with him. Nikki gets down Wind. That's a big pick. Now, bots in ILIAD NYX's favor for them to start making those first careful steps forward. Quite a lot of ground they've already given, but definitely not untenable. You have to string together, I'd say, about 2 fights, and that's certainly possible with the ultimates they have in pocket. That Annihilation is going to be key, especially with so much open space. Not the easiest to keep them in place to get all the damage off. Around the back is Driptire, trying to work up the nerve to step up. Orbital Laser drops on down. Seneca the first to fall. Rue as well. Aniki traded out. Fire annihilated. Invictus too. Skycer gets the 4-piece as they look to try to finish off the Zarya, and indeed they shall. This Omnic is malicious, maniacal, cruel, cold, and calculated. An amazing ultimate from NYX's tank. Now, that being said, all the resources gone. Invictus does have that overclock. And Seneca's taking the high ground. Entering the field, though. Good bubble. Prevents Foost from needing to use too many resources to escape back to safety. Ramatra in trouble. Here comes the overclock. Aniki does have that Deadeye to try to force him back. The bot eats all the bullets. And there goes Skycer, eating 2 railgun shots to the head. Wind. Going to make sure Rue eats the fist. And Aniki can't stand up to that either. Cray will fall too. And yummYMeal say back to original programming. Almost there. But not quite close enough. And now, if you let yummYMeal win one more decisive fight, it could very well get out of your range. A contest, though, before the bot reaches the barricade. Foost trying to look for some ground to gain, but Seneca's already fallen. Aniki looks for more shots. That lamp, though, always thwarting their attempts to fell more. That's okay. Take down the lamp maker. That's the way to start things off. Wind will be elimed as well. And ILIAD NYX, without really breaking a sweat, are able to regain the bot and get that barricade moving once more. 5 minutes left, still plenty of time. Tit for tat, back and forth action here. No one backing off the picks quite just yet, as we all feel comfortable where we are. Driptire still has that pulse bomb in pocket. I want to see how they use it. Fire. No question how they're going to use that Ant Matrix. Takes that high ground, trying to force them back, but a high noon, where's it going to come from is the question. Tries to catch that Baptiste, but I'm not trying to peek one bit. Foost, unfortunately, gets a full face full of bullets. That's a fantastic way for the fight to start off. Driptire takes advantage of the open terrain and goes looking for fire. Wind will drop 2. Seneca and Invictus to follow. A near team kill from ILIAD NYX. And now it's them that are pushing forward with the lead. Careful conservative play here. Aniki forcing no utility out of that Ant Matrix. With high noon, sometimes the best you can hope for, but you get a kill on Foost on top. That's just great. Cray gets that orbital laser. Driptire, though, will drop before they can even take advantage. Foost finds Rue as well at the pulse. And all of a sudden, 3 members, their pulse dropped down to 0. Foost severs 3 chords of life, and Wind follows suit onto Aniki. This Tracer player, if you were wondering why yummYMeal had that Tracer band on their heads the first round, that first map, you have certainly learned why across the other 2 and now 3rd map. Around the back goes Skycer. Has Annihilation, but they need heals too. Will they opt to pop? Rue goes down. A lot less supporting for Skycer to stay up top. especially with Gray dead as well. It's a 5-player kill streak. Wind and Seneca responsible for the bloodshed.
Forward spawn activated.
Need to see a contest happen here from NYX. You do not want to let them get the barricade even an inch past, because it means such a far push you need to make on your own end. Only the Invictus overclocked, though. Driptire's going to be trying to look for them with that pulse. It's a quick back off there from Seneca. Niki's not going to let you go down that easy, though. We're going back to base the hard way. Cuts off the escaping Tracer and forces the recall. But can you force them to go down? Yes. Into the underworld for both DPS. Wind will drop as well. Fire is on fire, or rather Driptire at the very least. The hot hand, the blazing flash of the muzzles, and more yummYMeals gobbled up. 2 minutes left, and ILIAD NYX stand with the bot approaching that barricade. The pulse bomb off the mark. Uncharacteristic there from Driptire. But nonetheless, Aniki at the very least makes up where they can't get it. And Driptire still got 2 guns. They make sure to make quick work of Invictus with it. A roll past the barrier. They unload the full extent of that revolver, but it's not enough to drop the Zarya quite just yet. Fire on the Moira. Doesn't matter. Whatever pick you have, Aniki's got your number. Seneca, though, the torpedoes, aim for the heart. Cassidy will drop and trade. Foost will fall. And it's going to be a quick pause in combat. Uh-oh. Well then. Once again, guys, just gotta get zen. Whether or not it's in the middle of combat, I can't say it's necessarily the most ideal time, but sure. Why not? So, you come here often? So far, it's been a very hard-tested battle of wills. Foost was not able to get the same ground in that fight that they normally do, and you saw why it's that Voracious Vortex. Skystorm in that corner. Has Annihilation ready. The one ultimate that stands for NYX. The one ultimate that stands on the entire field. You're waiting for that bubble before you pop it. You're waiting to get in the center of all 3. Moira phases out of combat. Seneca faces Skystorm from the battle. Overstepping a bit too far. Foost will punish, and the backline dissolves. Invictus takes down Rue as well. It's a team kill for yummYMeal. But a long ways back they must wander before they can hope to contest the actual point. A Graviton for Wind. An Annihilation for Skysor. And a rally for Rue. This is what it comes down to. Can we disrupt Wind off their game? Can we switch to Solar instead? Gray drops down the torpedo, the laser as well. Seneca will fall first, but that Graviton, too much. Foost and Invictus get in on the action, and Foost drops the bomb on Rue as well. Invictus gets lights out by one steel gauntlet. Skysor stands alone. Still with Annihilation in pocket. Foost solos Drip. And yummYMeal will continue to advance towards the barricade. 8 seconds left. It's going to be an OT war of attrition. With that Annihilation, that's what decides everything. Will it be ill-used? The Deadeye in response. Aniki trying to secure all supremacy over the point, but it goes right into the bubble. That's okay. I'll burst it alongside the health bar. Aniki fans the hammer, fans the flames that keep ILIAD NYX's resistance alive. Annihilated is Invictus. Punched down, beaten down is Juno. One last slam to the head. And it's ILIAD NYX bringing it to 5. Called it. Called it. I tried to tell him. I said, listen, even if we lose this second map, we're bringing it to 5, baby. This is ILIAD. Have you read the Odyssey? It's long as hell. Them ancient Greeks never shut up. They're always telling the longest stories, and this is going to be a long series too. Not that I'm complaining. This is one I'm happy to read till the very end. To the very end, ILIAD NYX stand to prove, hey, 8-8 is just as great. We don't care what your regular season record is. Play all the Tracer you want. We're going to trace our names in the walls of Overwatch FACEIT history. Inscribe it in stone. Just like you see Skycer inscribe their fist plate in the face of that Juno. And you know what this means? Genji is back, baby. And we're back to El Dorado, la ciudad de oro. The city of gold, baby. A golden opportunity for ILIAD to take things in their favor. It all comes down to this. All the marbles, all the cards on the table. You can't ask for better Overwatch. Playoffs. Season 5, face it. ILIAD, NYX, and yummYMeal. Battle for supremacy. Picks and bans coming at you. Now, what do they ban away? I think yummYMeal's going to take off that hazard. I think they go back to targeting anything that might be used in the toolkit of Skycer. ILIAD, NYX. What's left, you know? What's left that's been frustrating you? That Kiriko ban, I think, was actually so necessary. Fire, though. Actually, Baptiste. Hold on. What am I saying? Ban that Baptiste. Seneca, if not Fire, is going to play it. So how about we say, keep that at home? I don't like your lamps. I prefer overhead lighting. Oh, Lord. I think I've just got good luck, man. Or I don't know. I guess you can say balance. We'll love to see it be a sweep, but anytime I'm on the cast, it appears that it's fated to be that 5-game banger. Brigitte is going to be that ban away from yummYMeal, and the Diva is the response from ILIAD NYX. Say, listen, we've not been banning tanks all day. How do you like it? Take that. Fair play. Skycer, the little jab to the ribs.
Ready for battle.
All right, friendos. Ladies, gentlemen, NBs and all. Come to watch yummYMeal fall. ILIAD and NYX step up with all their hopes and spirits for a map 5 victory here in the playoffs. To see who advances in advanced. D'Lo here to bring in the action. Hammer with the obs. Hippie, man behind the curtain. And you watching at home with bated breath to see who will meet a grisly death.
3, 2, 1.
Let's find out, shall we? Now, Aniki's on this Freya, Invictus back on the Ashe. That immediately invokes memories of map 2. Didn't go the best for Aniki then. Hopefully better luck now. But starts off strong for yummYMeal, dropping Skycer on the Winston. Dive on each side between that Hazard and the Winston. And on this first point, Hazard is a hazard. Can block off chokes very easily. A lot of doorways that wall can instantly seal away. Aniki sealed in a coffin alongside Cray. Foos has got to back off. Able to do so successfully. But so much ground gained by the advanced party. The Vanguard of yummYMeal makes it past that first arch without even a nary an issue. Drip tire on the Genji. That feels good. Can we actually see it show results? Rue goes down, trades for fire. Cray. Want to see them have their eye out for this Kiriko more. Stamp out the flames of resistance from yummYMeal to start. Skycer goes down once again. Winston's not been able to stay alive for long. Neither is Cray and Drip Tire. A 5-player kill streak for Foost. No surprise. Rue manages to make off with 1 life, Invictus's, before Foost makes quick work of theirs. Well, at the end result's still the same. Death taxes in that first point, all inevitable. yummYMeal advance with a grim sense of duty. Once again, echoes of map 2. Echoes of Foost's voice crying out in agony as Aniki detonates the dynamite that ends their life. Downpour is ready. Pulse Bomb nearly as well, and very impressive by Melon to have their ultimate up first. Just goes to show the potency of the Hazard on this map. Up close, far away, Hazard can be a threat. Drip Tire takes down Wind. Here comes the Spike Shield, forces a retreat. There's the Suzu, the downpour while they retreat, but a Kitsune used by Cray, grants mobility. The contestation over this point, bitter to the very end. Foos does have a Pulse Bomb in pocket, can't use it if you're dead though. Skycer takes him out. Aniki drops their body double. And Cray keeps everyone in high spirits and high health. Low health is that Hazard, drop down to 0 momentarily. It's a good stall from ILIAD NYX, and that's where we see the divergence. That's where we see the lessons learned. ILIAD NYX will not go gently into that good night. They will not let you get to point 3 without a word in response. Oh, it's the response from Invictus. A lightning fast retort. Off those headshots, around the back goes Invictus. They try to find that off angle, but can't find a pick just yet. Fire drops Kitsune. Bob in response to the backline, but Drip Tire moves in, swinging their blade with a frenzy. Can only cut down one, but it's a good target. Invictus going to drop thanks to the combined efforts of the Winston and Kiriko. And Skycer goes in, looking for more. Not satisfied with just one kill. Peanut butter won't just feed the beast. It must be sated with blood. yummYMeal blood. Drip Tire gets their fill, takes down Foost. Back on the Genji must feel so good after that rough gone of it. But still a victory last game, hopefully. ILIAD NYX can ride that wave to victory. Invictus rides the wave of Winston's primal fury back to base. Foos Pulse Bombs Rue back to base as well. Cray will drop Aniki, folded. A good start there by Skycer, but again, you leave the team behind, unfortunately. They might be victim to such gambits. Team kill for Yummy. And they now move towards the second point. A retouch unlikely. But at the very least, some resistance was shown. Rue does their darndest, not enough. Second point secured. And now Aniki staggering those death timers even further. This is where things get very rough. You cannot make mistakes like that. Wave the white flag, call that second point lost. Regroup, regain for the third. Winston up over top. Boost tracking the movement, knows that leap is down. Gotta make sure they don't fall too. Aniki winning these 1v1s up against Invictus quite often, but now can Drip Tire do the same against Boost. No ultimates on board, save for Downpour and the Kitsune. Limited space though to operate within, especially when you have limited life. Melon cuts it short and drops down the rain. But that bubble shield keeps him relatively safe. A violent leap though quickly severs thread of life that keeps up the Lucio. 5-player kill streak for Foost. That Pulse Bomb, ever present, ever approaching. Drip Tire down as well, and Foost pursues him into base, keeping them corralled like lambs to the slaughter. 3 minutes left and still so little ground that yummYMeal need to move forward. Foost has Pulse Bomb, looking for more. Bops Aniki on the head, but Cray makes Wind dead. Skycer is the response. The deflect's not gonna save ya. Drip Tire is going to be sent to high heaven. Foost sends Cray to the exact same destination. It's a team kill to end things off. An exclamation point by yummYMeal.
Score 0-3.
These payload maps
Switching sides.
just see like they do so well in these mobile instances of high, intense, frenetic payload gameplay. They're so good at moving so fluidly. You see the way that Invictus maneuvers around the back of the map. When on this overhang, you see that Invictus moving around the back of it too. But overall, it's just so impressive. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Worth noting as well, yummYMeal, speaking of being like water, speaking of their fluidity, Wind is now playing as support. Melon is back on this Hazard. Seneca's been rotated out, and they're still playing with such high chemistry. It's truly impressive. Quick shout out, as it says on screen, ILIAD Esports partner XYBA Productions, Hippie and Headrammer operating the sticks for NYX. And let me tell you, it's just a glorious thing. Look at these sweeping shots. Look at that, man. Tarantino couldn't do better. We had a match cut? Oh, okay. Not the budget for that. Unfortunate. Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's go. Okay. I see you, Headrammer. I see potential for NYX. Even the odds. It's going to take a village. It's going to take more than Nikki dying on the threshold. Suzu keeps Drip Tire safe. But Invictus rules over that high ground with an Iron Fist. And a locked and loaded rifle. The issue is Drip Tire, unlike Foost, really saves up for those Dragon Blades, has a hard time, though, finding those picks in the individual meantime. Skycer, no similar issue, takes down Win. Aniki now, operating on the Tracer, but normally a player that really likes to keep their distance. Let's see how they operate. So far, not the best of luck. Foost drops him with the quickness. Melon pours down the damage to drown out the Winston. Drip Tire and Foost might switch hands in terms of the Dance of Death, but it still spells for a good trade for yummYMeal. This overhang, remember how yummYMeal were able to deal with it is by sending out an advanced party. It was that Tracer and that Kiriko. But Kray's not a similarly offensive beast. Trying to just keep that Winston alive, got their hands full of those Fude cards to ensure the tank stays upright. Make sure to do so as well. Unfortunately, when one person gets more attention, more TLC, someone must suffer. It's going to be Rue. But Kray does take down Foost. Skycer will lay down a roost inside the base. Drip Tire answers back, and Aniki steps up as well. Wind and Invictus both are dead. Drip Tire finishes off Fire as well. Maybe it was the downpour, but Melon's not going to find much utility for it. Their own end, instead, is their only just reward. And now it's NYX who can advance. If it took them a bit more time, there still might be a retouch available. Skycer jumps up to the top just to say hey before quickly dropping back down. A leap forward and a brutal punch from their mighty Gorilla Fist. Still not enough to stop the retouch. Kitsune from Fire. 0.4 meters separate them from a potential extension. Bob is dropped as well from Invictus, but Aniki drops a body before they shortly fall right after. Melon takes their head, and Bob will claim Rue. Invictus drops down into the Suzu, gets Dominion over the point. Kray has Foost's number. Maybe that's the Tracer killer right there. Takes a page out of Fire's book and lights themselves ablaze himself. Skycer, emblazoned by rage and fury, will bring the damage to Fire and to Wind. The drum beats of death continue to march as Melon is the next one to go down. Skycer finishes off Foost. It's a near team kill. It's a point secure. Not too shabby. Drip Tire's got that Dragon Blade in pocket. Far more impactful than the errant Pulse Bomb is what I would say normally if Foost has not been so gosh darn reliable with them. And you're again just waiting for that Suzu from Kray. So you're looking for Kray to keep on killing Foost, which they've been doing a fantastic job of. If that pattern continues, it's going to be a great game. Fire's the first to fall. Dragon Blade instantly cuts down Invictus. We're looking for Juno right next. You can't escape in that corner. Those choppy little stubs. Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say those feet won't kick it for much longer, but Wind actually bites back. Kray keeps the dream alive by keeping Melon dead. Foost forced to retreat from Aniki's guns. Pulse Bomb in each of their pockets. Foost off the mark. That pressure's starting to get to you, huh? 2 minutes 30. Cole Cassidy from Invictus now. Suzu as well. From the top ropes, Wind drops down the torpedoes. Bit of extra damage alongside that orbital laser, but not too much utility found from it. The kill on Aniki is a different story. Fire responsible, no surprise. Going to be the Kitsune from Kray. Instantly, though, they meet their maker. Drip Tire does take down Invictus and Fire, thanks to Skycer. But you've lost your tank as well. Drip Tire recognizes this fight might as well be lost. Let's retreat, regroup. Rue Can't get the same vision down. They see nothing. They're dead. We see nothing. It's paused. So far, it's been an interesting story of pick game between those dancing duos of fate. And right now it's a NYX. They can keep that going. Overall, when you have a Kiriko like that that's able to take down a Tracer, it's going to spell for good things. Someone's getting back into the match. A minute and 40 left, but still a point remain. These pauses, though, hopefully aren't putting a hitch in the momentum that we've seen so far. Consider the fact that yummYMeal ended with 2 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock. Skycer going to drop. Invictus watches their body tumble to the cobbles below. I knew thee well, brother. Fooster on the back. Looks for a NYX. Can't find the cheeky slam. But in hot pursuit. You might regret it, though. Maybe I'm just luring you into a dark alley to run you blind. Pulse bomb off the mark, though. NYX in trouble. A mad dash for safety. Gets the health pack and actually able to escape with life. Skycer on the forefront of battle, takes down Fire, but Cray and Skycer will both soon meet their end. Nictus and Melon responsible. Kitsune dropped from Fire, Primal used by the Winston. And a NYX, despite drawing the attention of two members, was still not able to guarantee the team fight one for ILIAD NYX. 30 seconds left. And still half the point remaining. A great stick still keeps them alive. Skycer able to survive past, but Rue can't say the same. Invictus finds their head. Foost makes Cray dead. Once again, this Tracer tracing their name in the blood of their enemies on their cold corpses. 3 seconds left for a touch. ILIAD NYX have got to step up now, but they're not going to be able to do so. yummYMeal finish their plates and will take the series. It was a really, really solid match between these two teams. Unfortunately, just were not able to get that pressure off at the end. And that, I've really got to throw a lot of credit to Foost. Foost and Fire. That man's the Dragonborn. Foost Ro Da, I say. Because on that Tracer, that was a threat. You could hear the boss music. ILIAD NYX, though, had amazing moments. A NYX on this Sojourn in that first map was certainly impressive, but Driptire was, I think, a really consistent pillar of the team. Skycer, I think, played a bit hot and cold, but when they were hot, my God, they were sizzling. On that Winston, in map 2. Sorry, map 1, rather. They were lights out. But Foost put the light out between the eyes of too many folks, waiting for those Suzus, eliciting key abilities from their enemy before acting. Patience and cohesion. And I think, as well, Wind on this Zarya is a great example of that. A character who very often, especially with the ultimate, relies on the entire team coalescing around them. The hazard as well was certainly a sticking point there for Melon. Rue and Cray did their darndest as well. Rue stayed pretty steady by the Lucio. Got banned out, so clearly worthy of some attention from the enemy team. But the battle between Cray and Fire was certainly an interesting one as well. Those two Kiriko mains. Fire proved to, I think, be the more offensive linchpin, but Cray was a stalwart defender to try to keep their DPS up and swinging. Unfortunately, swing no longer they shall. ILIAD NYX go down to the playoffs. yummYMeal, take it in 5. But we kept hope alive for as long as possible. It was a very impressive match on both sides. But yeah, if you're hoping for this to be a dance of death to the very end, for it to be high stakes, you absolutely got what you were looking for. Nothing was left on the table. All these teams can go home and feel proud of the performance they left behind. And looking ahead to the future and looking at the past we have here, the overview of our series records that we can see is going to be ending there for ILIAD NYX. 2-3 up against yummYMeal. ILIAD Artemis, they are the ones who took supremacy over ILIAD Helios, so I'm sure we'll see more of them. But nonetheless, unfortunately, the tales in these Greek tragedies cannot always end so happily. Sometimes it's a see you later, not a goodbye forever. I'm sure we'll be getting more of our friends there from NYX further into other seasons of FACE. But they showed all the face they needed to. They showed all the grit, moxie, and determination you could ask of them. Everyone, please, a round of applause for our amazing NYX players, as well as for our opponents in yummYMeal time. They also definitely deserve their accolades. They deserve that victory, too. It was well fought on both sides. But that being said, that is all we're going to have for you here today on ILIAD Esports FACEIT Season 5 Advanced Series between our friends on NYX. Better luck next time. And yummYMeal, congratulations to y'all. I've been D'Lo, joined here by my almighty eye in the sky head rammer. We've also had Hippie, the man behind the curtain. Please thank our production for all they do. We could not yell at games without them. And last, but certainly not least, thank you, loyal, obedient viewer, for your time. We hope you've enjoyed these series just as much as we have. Keep an eye to the sky for more ILIAD Esports content coming at you. Until then, good games and good night.